stand tall in the Indian industry with over 10,000 professionals as members and almost an equal number of student members. Founded in 1981 and headquartered in Delhi, we operate from chapters and sub-chapters spread all over India, bringing our entire industry together. Individuals become members of our society according to their professional and academic standings. Our roadmap of the future looks very bright, with thousands of new members joining this technical society every year and bringing in a fresh outlook to our industry intelligence. ISHO disseminates knowledge through its technical committees, which consists of some of the best minds of our industry. It publishes technical books, newsletters, and a prestigious journal, distributing the wealth of knowledge to all its members. Working with government departments, ISHO helps formalize industry codes and standards. ISHO promotes research by offering financial support to student members to carry out groundbreaking work in technology, systems, and processes. Our educational wing, ISHO Institute of Excellence, organizes training programs and workshops to help members enhance their skill sets. Our specially designed certification programs under ICP, that is, ISHO Certified Professional, empower professionals to always be in step with the prevailing technology. Specially designed courses for technicians are offered to meet the ever-increasing demand for a skilled workforce. ISHO organizes exhibitions, conferences, panel discussions, and product presentations throughout the country. We organize the industry's largest international exposition in South Asia, Acrex India, to showcase the cutting-edge technology, innovation, and provide a platform for closer interactions amongst the decision makers in the industry. The Acrex exhibition is now growing from HVAC and ISHO into BFA, Build Fair Alliance. This brings together several allied shows connected with the building services industry, all at one location. Our chapters organize several other popular events like AgriConf in Delhi, Raycon in Kolkata, Symposia in Mumbai, TechFest in Goa, and many more. We are committed to provide training and career guidance to our student members through seminars, lectures, quiz contests, and site visits. A-Quest, a prestigious quiz competition organized by ISHO to catalyze the transformation of the budding engineering professionals. ISHO provides a platform to potential employers to select student members for careers in HVAC and our industry at the ISHO Job Junction. Young minds are made aware of the need for saving power, clean air, and sustainability. The K-12 initiative of ISHO focuses attention on school students' development to inculcate a scientific fervor and help develop them into responsible citizens. Speedy information is imperative to keep moving forward in this hyper-connected digital age. Searcher, a specifically designed search engine, is now available, which allows access to a well-catalogued database on HVACR and building services industry with just a few clicks. ISHO cooperates with various national and international bodies, industry, governments, academia, think tanks to promote the concept of sustainability, environmental protection, and energy efficiency and conservation to enter and explore the universe of the Indian HVACR industry. Log on to ishre.in that unfolds a panorama of information. Let us engineer a sustainable future together through ISHO.
Hello.
Yes, sorry, sir.
Yes, audible.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome everyone. Today we are going to organize a session on the topic a smart sustainable building and a new material technology in association with Agra subchapter of ISHRE, which is going to be delivered by our speaker Mr. Kapil Meghrani ji. So now on the behalf of our mechanical engineering department, Guru Ghasidas University, I would like to call Mr. Muhammad Arif, a member of ISHRE, to give a brief introduction of our speaker. So, Mr. Arif sir, please take over the charge. Thank you.
Thank you, Pradeep sir. Uh, it's my privilege to introduce my fellow colleague. He is not an he is not a smart personality, but he is a friend, a very good friend of mine. So, as per our flyer, he is director of Prakriti Group, which is a Prakriti Sustainable Building Services Private Limited at Jaipur. But before that, he is one of the founder of Econor, which was also working for green building and services. Uh, right now, he is the treasurer of ISHRE Jaipur chapter, and uh, he is a very dynamic and amazing personality to hear. So, let me introduce Mr. Kapil Meghrani to start the presentation. Now, over to Kapil ji.
Thank you, Arif sir. Good afternoon to all. So not required of heavy introduction of mine. So I have not done quite a part. I'm seeing Sade sir is also there. Good to see my Jaipur colleagues are there. My mentor is also there. Arif ji from Agra chapter, he is my colleague. We are the part of the North region. So it's good. They asked me to come and enlighten the students about the green building and technology. So here, not taking much time, I'm going to start my presentation. Give me a minute. Yeah. So just a disclaimer that all the content is of the speaker. Issue is not associated with that. So today we are going to talk about the smart sustainable buildings and the new material technology required with it. So current pandemic situation, we are going to see that what are the transition changes are coming into the world in our daily lives also, and what are the new things will be in the future. So smart sustainable building is a very important part of our future infrastructure, and the materials definitely required in that. So first we will discuss what is the present situation which we are facing is, and as we are seeing it, infrastructure is in not in a good condition right now. Rivers and banned in various states. So what is next? How we can make the building if there is no river sand is there? So we need to work on the alternatives for that. And river sand mining results in the drought and flood simultaneously. If we mine the river sand, then how we can save our rivers? Okay, so we have seen various campaigns related to that. The present situation is we are seeing a lot of climatic disturbances because of the infrastructure activities, because the mining is there, other things are there. So we have to make our future buildings in a way that it does not disturb our environment. Okay, so just not taking much time, I have to draw your attention to a situation what we faced in 2012. Might be everyone knows about the situation that there was a northern grid failure in 2011. Sorry, 2011 there was a grid failure 9 years back because of the reason was the heavy load on the grid. So half of the country went into the blackout. So from 2011 to 2020, it is there's a gradual increase in the air conditioning speeds. There's a gradual increase in various other energy equipments. So what is that the great failure can happen anytime. So what we do in the lockdown, we were at a space at a home. We were staying safe because we were having all the facilities like internet, TV, and other stuff. Electricity was there, air conditioner was also there. But what happens if there is no electricity? We will not able to live. So we have to make our infrastructure in a certain way that it does not affect. So we will talk about the smart sustainable buildings. We are not talking exactly about the green buildings. Yes, it can be, but we are talking about the smart sustainable buildings and the materials that can be used in that. So there are the contents of the today's presentation. That is introduction to the smart sustainable buildings, different materials and components required in this, various design consideration for making a smart building. So we will discuss about the various design consideration while making a smart building, and at the end we will discuss about the HVAC component of a smart building, that how we can see about the ventilation parts of a green building. Okay, so what exactly a smart building is? Everyone knows about green building. Everyone has a myth that what is a green building? Green building is a that which has greenery or with the green color. It is not that. Smart building refers to a structure and using the process that is environmentally responsible and resource efficient throughout a building's life cycle, from designing till the whole completion of the building. The building which does not harm the environment or which is self-sustainable. It is called a smart sustainable building, which does not require the municipal water supply after its construction, which does not require much amount of electricity, that generates its own electricity or consumes a very less amount of electricity. That is a resource efficient building or a smart building, or we can call it an energy efficient building. So this is other definitions of a smart building, but according to me, a resource efficient building which does not require more of the outside resources is a smart sustainable building. So what are the objective of a smart sustainable building? So it only says that maximize use of materials from sustainable sources, from the non-sustainable, not from the non-sustainable sources, which harms the environment or which uh, deplete or which harms our natural resources. So reduce overall energy use and maximize potential for renewable energy supply and use. So it says the same, that the building is designed in such a way that it does not consume much energy. So we are also saving the energy. Okay. So minimize waste and maximize reuse and recycling of materials both during construction and operation. Conserve water resources, enhance the water quality, incorporate water sensitive design and minimize vulnerability to flooding, minimize the polluting emissions to water, air and soil, and minimize noise and light pollution. These are the objectives of a smart sustainable buildings which we design and as we do and design. Sorry. So what are the resource material efficiency? So when we design a building, we take care what exactly a resource efficiency, what exactly the green materials that we use in a building can lower down the consumption. That is the resource efficiency, work on the indoor air quality, take care of the energy efficiency of the building. Water consumption is a very important part. Affordability is also very important in a green building. So it's not like we are making a high-rise building or a very costly building. It is just we have to see the affordability, that we have to choose the materials wisely as per required. If we are making a small home, we will take the materials as required that can work as a and make a energy efficient building affordable. So what are as we have already discussed elements of smart sustainable building, these are the elements of a smart sustainable building. We have to think of the resource efficiency, the materials which you are taking, energy efficiency, water efficiency, waste management, indoor air quality, structure design efficiency. These are the 6 important elements of smart sustainable building. From the design to the end, these are the very important features. Okay, so as we discuss resource material efficiency, it's very important. So when we are using the materials, it's very important that we should consider the recycled materials also. So nowadays there are various bricks, insulation materials which are made up of recyclable content. So we can use that. So it also saves our environment from any other content, and these are also becoming the alternative of traditional construction building materials which we use. Like these are the alternatives of bricks, these are alternatives of aggregate jelly, these are alternatives of the sand. So we can use this recyclable content that can also increase the resource efficiency. So also many people ask that how a material, if not made of recyclable material, can be a green can be a used in an energy efficient building. So the process with which any product is making can be using then low energy consumption, or the process is recyclable, the process is sustainable, then also it can be used in the buildings. Okay, as you are seeing it, resource efficient manufacturing process. So these guidelines will take place, and we can use these kind of materials as well. So a third important factor is we also focus on the locally used materials while making a building. So if you are making a home in Mumbai and we are transporting the marble from Makarana, Rajasthan, so it's not viable because we are using the truck for the loading. The material is coming from Rajasthan to Maharashtra, and then the truck cost is added. The carbon and the fuel is going into the environment. Okay, so it's not viable. So better we use the products from locally. If we are in Rajasthan, we take the products from Rajasthan and nearby. If we are from Bilaspur, we will take the products nearby, because there are various good other products are available. So that's why we focus that we take the products and procure them from the local environment. Okay, so that is also constitute a very important part of a smart sustainable building. So when we see the energy efficiency, what is the important factor is cooling takes the maximum space in the energy consumption, that is 46%. Domestic water heating takes 5, heating gas takes 4%, lighting consists of only 17 to 20%, heating electric can take from 8 to 10%, basic utility electric services can take from 1 to 3%, miscellaneous equipment can take from 10 to 12%. So as we are seeing it, these are the energy graph of any building, which, so it's an average consumption we have calculated. So we have to take care of these points while making and designing a smart sustainable building. Okay, so when we it's a typical diagram, so might be many have seen that. So we are seeing that whenever we are making a building, we have to take care of these kinds of things. Like when we are making a smart sustainable building, we have to take care of the solar parts in the top of the building, and then we have to take care that the lighting we are using, the LED, and the waste disposable things are there. Glasses is very important part. Indoor air quality is also important. Glazing or the double glazing of a glass or triple glazing, we will discuss this later on. So this is the various parameters which we are seeing consist of a green building. Whenever in a home you are seeing it, you are seeing this, the roof and wall ceiling, low glaze. So, so so in this way we are seeing about these stuff. Okay, so these are also the components of a green building. So Now we consider some basic design parameters that what needs to be take step by we will discuss about it. So when we talk about the solar gain efficient, these are very much light we receive from our sun. So it goes to the building, and there we see that uh, then we when we see here, uh, the glasses are in such a way that it does not absorb the heat, it does reflect the heat. So it does not require the much higher energy consumption. There's a less load on the ACs, and these the walls will be not much heated while we are making it. Okay, so these are some things which we need to decide by making the designing of a building, that the sun or the solar gain is not coming directly to the building or the walls or the windows. So there will be less air conditioning uh, load required. Okay, so when we are making a building, glasses, selection of glasses is very much required, and selection of the insulation is very much required. When we see about many of us heard about the glazing. What is actually a glazing? Double glazed glasses, triple glazed glasses. So when we are seeing is, this is called the double glazed glasses. It has two layers of a glasses. Two glasses are used here. Why? Because it reflects the glasses, not absorbs the heat. Sorry, it reflects the heat, not absorbs the heat. So in the daytime also, the light will be coming very efficiently in a building, and the heat is not coming. So it is the important feature of a double glazed glass, or this is a triple glazed glasses. In many of the ways, when the building is made in a east direction, the sun is coming directly in the morning side. So in many buildings, triple glazed glasses are used. So this is also a very important insulation of walls and the glazed windows. Okay, so insulation, roof insulation is very important factor. Then when we are making a building, we want that average temperature of a building will be less than the outside temperature. So we use various kind of insulation. There are very recyclable insulations are coming up. Foam is a very foam is a very important insulation which we used before, but now the new rock wool insulation is coming up, uh, glass wool insulation is coming up, and various other kinds of insulations are coming up which are made up of recyclable materials. So when we are designing a building, it is very much required to see the insulation part of it building. So when we work on the solar design, so it should be at an angle. When we are designing or installing any solar panel or a solar pump or a solar heater, we need to install the solar panel at an angle, at a certain angle, that all the sunlight will come at a very good point. So solar design is very important while installing a solar panel. So solar panel is not just we have installed it and we are getting the electricity. You have to take care of the operations and maintenance of that solar structure very importantly. So it is also a very important part of a smart sustainable building. So as we already discussed that when we are installing the glasses, it should be in a very properly installed and designed. So we can take that things also. These other things that can be taken care of. That use of skylight. So there is also a very new concept is coming up, that rather than installing the lights, installing the LED systems, we can take the light from the outside sun. So there are some skylights can be used in the basement systems, or where there is no electricity is coming up. So we can install these pipelines. So it does not require the electricity consumption, and it is also giving a good lighting, and it's a very good consumption of the solar that we use. the sunlight. Conservation of water. Many people has uncertainty that how we can install a water harvesting structure in a building. So rather than, when you are making a small building, it is not required to make a rainwater harvesting system because it is not feasible in a small building or in a small house. But what you can do in your house is you can use the water aerators. As in this picture you are seeing is these, the water is coming up or there is a shower head. These are called as water aerators. Water aerators slow down the water flow rate and gives the water in a misting form. So let's say you have a water faucet at your home which gives 8 to 10 liters water in 1 minute. When you use this water aerators, it gives only 1 to 2 liters in 1 minute. So you can see that you are saving 80% of water consumption at your home by using and installing these simple water aerator devices, which cost hardly from 300 to 600 depending on the various companies which are offering this. So these are very good examples that you can save the buildings in your save the water in your buildings, in your college, in your hostel, in your uh, home, or in any of your commercial spaces. There, water harvesting is very much required when there is a large uh, uh, ground or a large place like hostel is there, college facility is there, uh, a commercial complex is there, these are residential apartments. So for that, rainwater harvesting is very much required that can save the groundwater. Okay, so it is very important while you are making a smart sustainable building to make the processes for this rainwater harvesting. So if you want to discuss more on this, we will have a next session for that because we have to discuss other things also. So till now, our part of the smart sustainable building, what exactly a smart sustainable building is, we have discussed. We have also discussed about the various products which can be used in a smart sustainable building. And at the next, now we are starting a HVAC. So if anyone has questions regarding that what exactly a smart sustainable building is anyone has questions, we can take right now also, or we can move to the next
Kapil
step.
sir, we can take questions after this session, at
Okay, okay,
last of the session.
okay. So we are going to the next session now. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so we are going to the next step, that is the HVAC part. So what does the HVAC systems consumes in the energy consumption of a building? So energy efficiency of technical insulation is influenced by the choice of the appliances systems and their consistencies, the roots and insulations of the ducts and pipe, compactness of ducts through holes in rooms, the purity of fluids, filters and valves, fine-tuning the system and automation control, and the use and maintenance of these appliances. So these consist of lot of importance while making and designing a building. So when you are choosing the duct and pipe of a building or the louvers and filters, these are also consist of very lot of importance in that. So ventilation. So as we are the part of the history, it is very much required to know about the ventilation, why it is required. Most of know that ventilation is one of the most significant parts of a building's energy consumption. So it is very much required for the human occupancy. Air is very much required, but the ventilation is also very required because it brings the fresh air from outside to inside. Impurities are then removed from the inside air. So what kind of impurities we found that? CO2, moisture, dust, toxin, allergy, smoke from kitchen. If the ventilation is not correct, what it can cause? It can cause the stuffiness, smell, increased carbon dioxide. People are not able to shape properly. It causes the various other things. So the air must move freely between the different rooms. So we also recommend to use the ventilation systems in that way that does not consume the water, the much air, the energy, and also uh, it does not very it does not what we say damage the ventilation. It does not deficient the ventilation. So what exactly a good quality indoor is, which is required in a smart sustainable building? So it definitely should have a good supply of fresh air. It recommends the temperature from 20 to 24 degree. It's a ideal temperature. So if we are having a temperature under 18 degrees Celsius, and also 22 to 23 is also called a good temperature, but I recommend 24 also, because in the other parts, 23 is or 24 is required uh, when there is high occupancy. When there is low occupancy, 24 degrees is also very accurate. If there is a high occupancy of the people, like in a room, 5 or 6 people are working in a 1.5 ton split AC or any, I think 20 to 23 is very much required. If there is only one person or two-person in a room, I think 24 to 25 is pretty much accurate. So airflow in the rooms according to rules is 0.2 meter per second. Recommended is 0.1 meter per second. So good indoor air has less than 900 ppm of CO2. So CO2 is a indicator of air quality. So the picture shows an indicator used to measure the air quality. So we should take care the indoor air quality. The appliances which we are using is as per the regulations and the terms. Okay, so what is the amount of ventilation that is required if we are using a smart sustainable building? All the air is changed every 2 hours. So in an empty building, at least 0.2 times in an hour. Fresh air per person is 6 liters per second, meaning 21 meter cube per hour. Fresh outside air is brought to bedrooms and living rooms. So these are the general guidelines for ventilation. So I've seen in various smart sustainable buildings or smart buildings which people make, it does not use the air conditioners. They design a building in such a way that there is natural ventilation. That uh, so it does not require a AC. You can design a building in that way also if you are making a small building, and people are also doing research work in that how they can design a natural ventilation building. So it should in such a way that it should cross uh, it should have a insulation. So insulation will not increase the heat in the building, so there is less air is required for cooling down the building. Then work on the cross ventilation. So one side air is coming up, then the exhaust is going up. So cross air ventilation is called. In natural ventilation, the warm air goes out through the flue and fresh air is brought in through walls on the wall. Okay, so I think you're getting it, how the natural ventilation works. In our old houses, in the old heritage structures, we have seen the same technology and the same principle were used. So this is the natural ventilation. So as we already discussed, in the various of the old architecture which we have seen, it was common till 1960s. So natural ventilation is based on lighter warm air rising. The differential pressure is created between indoor and outdoor air because of the temperature differences. In the winter, the temperature difference between indoor and outdoor air is huge. So the differential pressure is also huge. So ventilation is working well. In warm seasons, for example, oil heating warms the flue and encourages natural ventilation. So a good quality of air has to be ensured while the ventilators, window ventilators. So in Rajasthan, we have seen that in the architecture, in the old architecture, when there was a natural ventilation, might be heard about in Jaipur, Hawa Mahal is very famous. You heard about Hawa Mahal. and another is the Patwoki Haveli. What they use is they use the cross ventilation windows, and a very small size of the window is very small, and so the windows, so the air comes through the windows and get exhaust to the other part of the window. So that is why these are used. So uh, a good supply of air is to be used while making a natural ventilation. It is very important to keeping carbon dioxide at the target level usually. So it requires constant airings. Closing a ventilator because of drop is a common problem. Regular cleaning of ventilators is a general overheat. So it should be take care. So till 1950s, when there was no electricity, there were no ACs, natural ventilation were used, and in the many of the new smart sustainable building, this concept is also take care. So they are not just directly eliminating the air conditioners, they are just lower down their consumption or lower down the dependability to save the energy consumption also, and to use it whenever it is required. So that is why whenever a smart sustainable building is made, natural ventilation plays a major role while uh, making. Okay, so one thing. So we are taking a example of a 150-meter house with natural ventilation. That how it is used. So as you're seeing in this, some exhaust walls are used. The three ventilators. Ventilators is just the outlet where the air is coming up. So supply air downstairs. These are the three exhaust grills are used. Okay, in the exhaust air downstairs, one exhaust air ventilator is used in the bathroom. So without fan it is okay. So the air can be goes out. Upstairs bedroom, the bedroom is other, and one exhaust air ventilator is over the window. So we have seen in various buildings also that uh, exhaust air ventilator is over the window, so it should pass through that, and the air can go out through these exhaust valves. So when we did the air quality check, so it is of a different region. So these are the calculations which we recorded in the natural ventilation when we did this part. First part is to take care of this supply air downstairs and the exhaust air in the washroom and in the bedroom in that way. And these are the ppms which were ideally recorded in the air quality. So it is of US. This study is of a US, of a natural ventilation of a building. So the temperature crosses minus 25 degrees as well. So it is very important as there as well. Okay. So mechanical extraction of ventilation. When there were no ACs, then there is come the fans. Fans were used in that. So this is the picturization of a mechanical extraction. It is it was common till 1990s. Air is removed by fan, like we are using the exhaust fans I use currently. Adjustment usually by cooked hood requires sufficient pressures and transfer air routes. Closing the valves because of a drop is a common problem. The actions of the fan must be controlled. The valve must be cleaned regularly. So before the air conditioners were introduced in India, these were the common mechanical extractions that will be used. In the current also, these things are used when there is no or there is less air conditioners are required. So mechanical extraction fans are used in various places in the warehouses when there is no ACs can be used in the factories or in the warehouses. These mechanical extractions, HVLS fans, we have heard about the HVLS, heavy ventilation airless fan. So these work on the mechanical extraction process. So this is the same mechanical extraction process. This is the heat recovery methods. So in a smart sustainable building, heat recovery is very much important because if the heat is trapped in a building, it does not gives a very much air with a good quality. Okay. So this part we have discussed about the HVAC of a building. So as we discussed about the what is the ventilation, why it is required, why it is indoor, good quality indoor is required, natural ventilation, what is natural ventilation, what is mechanical ventilation, and we already learned about the various chillers and in the other webinars here. So we are not discussing more about it. At the last and the very important topic is the energy conservation building code. So might be you are hearing about it that why smart sustainable building is required. Why I make a smart sustainable building when I have to spend a lot of money. So why? What is government? What is the benefit of that doing that? And what is government is doing that? So for making and initiating the green buildings and the smart sustainable buildings, Government of India has launched the Energy Conservation Building Code in 2007. So So what is Energy Conservation Building Code? We will discuss about it. It was launched in 2007 by Ministry of Power under Bureau of Energy Efficiency has launched that it is under Ministry of Power. So what is the significance of Energy Conservation Building Code? This code says building thermal performance and energy use according to the climatic zones. It encourages the design consideration as per the climatic conditions of India. So we will discuss that how India is divided into various climatic zones. It also encourages use of daylight, shading, natural ventilation, and the solar energy. So as we discuss about the natural ventilation, we discuss about the shading, we discuss about the insulation, we discuss about the solar energy. These are important part of energy conservation building code. So it also focuses on energy performance of buildings rather than green building design. It focus on the material properties, water use, building site, and also it focuses on the green building design. Will refer to ECBC for energy performance. So it also works on that. So we will discuss what exact ECBC is saying is whichever person is making a building which is having a connected load of more than 100 kilowatt or contract demand of more than 120 kVA need to make a ECBC building. So your college, your hostel comes in the ECBC. Your any commercial space which is having a connected load of more than 100 kilowatt or having a conditioned area of more than 100 meter square need to be made under the ECBC. So ECBC is mandatory till now in more than 10 states and it is voluntary use in all over India. So Delhi, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab and UP and Maharashtra are mandated the energy conservation building code. They have need to make the building as per the guidelines of energy conservation building code. So this is the mandatory requirement and this is energy conservation building code. So this code was also amended in 2017. So anyone wants to read about ECBC, they can just search it on Google also. There are some guidelines by Ministry of Power. So it says all the states. So we will discuss only the brief points what it says. Okay, so it says the very important part that India is divided into 5 parts. So in whichever region you are living, you have to see the guidelines. So if you are in a hot and dry, like I'm in Rajasthan, some people are in Jaisalmer, Bikaner, they need to follow the hot and dry. If we are in composite climate, like in Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, this is comes under the composite. So when you are making a building in a composite, you have to make as per the guidelines says in the composite. There is a 200-page book of ECBC. There are some guidelines written for the composite climate, for the temperate, for the warm humid, like in Bengal there is warm humid, in Goa, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra, and Tamil Nadu and Kerala. These are comes under the warm humid. They have to take care as per the warm humid what in the cold, like in Jammu, Kashmir, Himachal, Uttarakhand, uh, the climate condition is cold. So they need to design the building as per the ECBC guidelines of the cold temperate zones or the cold climatic zones, as we say. So this ECBC says ECBC says it says the minimum it sets the minimum energy efficiency standards for design and construction of a commercial building. It also encourages energy efficient design or retrofit of buildings. It also ensures that the building design does not constrain the building function, comfort, health, or the productivity of the occupant. As appropriate regard of for economic consideration. So, as we discussed before about the smart sustainable building, it says all. This law or this code by Government of India says that smart sustainable building should be for the comfort for of the health, and it should be designed in such a way that it improves the existing construction practices. It emphasizes on integrated building design approach as we discussed just before in the previous slides. Okay. So this is a small introduction to ECBC because ECBC is very much large. If you want to go into the deep technicalities of ECBC, we have to take more than 3 or 5 sessions for that. So what are the buildings which covered into the ECBC? Till now, residential buildings were not covered, but now new code is also coming up that considers the residential. But till now, residential is not covered in this ECBC. Office buildings are covered into this. Hotels, retail malls and shops, hospitals, government building, educational institutes are covered into the ECBC. But uh, which is not considered in ECBC is the factories or the industries. So factories are not considered in ECBC if they are having a commercial space, office space of more than 100 kilowatt, that comes under the ECBC. Industries are not covered till now in ECBC. So what are the mandatory requirements of ECBC that what needs to be take care? One is building envelope need to be take care, mechanical systems need to be take care, design as per the ECBC guidelines, hot water and pumping need to be designed as per the ECBC guidelines, interior and exterior lighting should be take care as per the ECBC guidelines. Electrical powers need to be take care. So there are some exceptions. Building not using electricity or fossil fuels. Building portions like equipment that use energy primarily for manufacturing process. Multi-family buildings of 3 or fewer stories, suburb grade and single family buildings. So these are the mandatory requirement of ECBC. So we have touched about ECBC briefly, that what exactly ECBC is, what are the new things which are introduced in ECBC, which kind of buildings are considered in ECBC, and which is very important aspect of ECBC. So this is all about the ECBC. At the end, we will discuss about the new materials which need to be used while making a smart sustainable building. So when you are making a smart sustainable building, do focus on the low VOC paints. It also affects your indoor air quality. Currently, we use the VOC paint, that is volatile organic compounds. So in your homes, in your apartment, in your commercial space, you have seen in your college also might be have seen the VOC paints. If you use the low VOC paints, it should not affect the much of your part. Okay. So second is one second. So second is wall insulation to maintain the temperature. Insulation is very important in that you have to take care of this insulation part. Water aerators we discussed that we need to take care of the faucet aerators. Sand-free cement, as we discussed in the first presentation, is river sand is banned. So what we need to see, we have to see the sand-free cement is coming up. So the cement is coming without the sand. So it does not require the sand, it does not require the aggregate, just use the water and use it. So sand-free cement is coming up. Polgon is the company which is making that, and there are other some new technology companies which are making a sand-free cement. Fire resistance MDF furnitures are used, and instead of solar solar roof tiles are coming up. So it's a very important, it's an interesting product. I've seen that solar roof tiles, not of Tesla, Indian companies also made some solar roof tiles. So I think it's a new technology. Various other things are also coming up. So in this new innovation. So this is all about the smart sustainable buildings and the new material technology that we have discussed. So if you have any questions, you can ask right now, and we can like to happy to answer all the stuff. And if you want to contact me anytime more on the green buildings, want to know more about the products, you can contact me as well. This is my contact details. So this is all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Yes, anyone else having any doubt right now, please may ask. Anyone?
So, so there is a question, which is, what is exactly the definition of a smart building? Is the energy efficient building is a smart building? Kapilji, you have to unmute.
Yeah, sorry for that. So yeah, so energy efficient building can be called as a smart sustainable building. Why? Because energy efficient building uses all the principles that we have discussed. Okay, so these are some definitions that which characterizes a building. So smart sustainable building is also a resource efficient building. It is also energy efficient building. It is also a green building. Okay, so it says all energy efficient building can be a smart sustainable building because it takes care of the important criteria, that is the energy efficiency.
There are two.
One second.
Okay.
Mr. Kapil, myself Vinod Kumar.
Yeah, hi sir. Yeah.
Sir, my question is still the exact definition of sustainable building. Energy efficient, there is a difference. The topic was sustainable building.
Correct.
Okay. So, energy efficient building is only the small part of that sustainable building. So, my question is still, what is the exact definition? And please give the reference also, so that can enlighten me.
Yes, sir. So I give you example that when we talk about
No, sir, exactly definition. I'm not asking example. I know the buildings. Being
Yes,
as a technical background, I know the buildings in Hyderabad or Andhra Pradesh. I know the
Yes.
there is a Tata building also in Delhi also. I know the building, but
Yes.
I want to know what is the exact definition, because I have to teach the student also, na.
So it's correct that energy efficient buildings is also called a smart sustainable building. It is not very cross ventilation. Sorry, it's a cross combination that it will be different, or energy efficient building will be different. Why it is called energy efficient building? Because it uses the parameters of the design. When you talk about the energy efficiency building, it also says that you have to save, you have to use the insulation. Let me complete, please, sir.
Okay.
I have to say one thing, that when we talk about the energy efficiency of a building, I am in this industry for more than 8 years. Okay, so I've also worked with Haryana government also. There was also a same thing. When we design any building which uses the glasses, which uses the insulation, which uses the various parameters for the energy efficiency, it is a smart building. So it is also called energy efficient building, because when it is not that we are using the high, what we say, 5-star appliances, it does not make an energy efficiency building. The designing is very important. When we are making with glasses, with recyclable material, the heat load is going to be very less. So there will be low load on air conditioners. There will be less heat in the building. So it is also a smart building, and it is also called as energy efficiency building as per us, because this is a very new phenomena. This is a very new concept which is coming into this. So I think this is the same. Green buildings are also the energy efficient buildings. So yes, some criteria can be taken care, but I think energy efficient buildings and smart sustainable buildings are same, because the principles are same, the design considerations are same, their applications are same. Because we can't say that this building is saving 25%, smart sustainable is saving 35%. Both the parameters are same. The
Uh,
design considerations can be different, but the properties, applications, design considerations are same for both. We can't characterize them. So the definition can be same for them, I think.
So my that's if I'm this I'm in the this education sector since last 10 years, right?
That's it.
So I'm also teaching and to my student, and I'm being as a civil engineer.
Yes,
So for me the sustainable building is the building which utilize locally available material and fulfill all needs of a human being which is residing in the building, as well as disposal also. Disposal of waste.
correct.
Disposal of waste is not added. This
Correct.
is the
So, sir, for that, I completed, I agreed on the point. We have talked about the smart sustainable buildings. You are talking about the smart sustainable building. So,
no.
so
Disposal every time, sir, you are making building,
yes, yes,
making for the people.
yes,
When the people will live, they will just produce some waste, as well as
correct,
solid as well liquid waste, both.
correct,
So we are not disposing that solid liquid waste, then it is not an efficient building. This is my point of view.
correct,
This is
correct.
my point of personal. This is my point of view.
Correct, correct, correct. So when we
Yeah.
talk about, sir, I got your point. When we are making a sustainable building, it needs to be take care of the local source materials, the recyclable materials. We have to take care of the waste. But when we talk about the smart says about the energy also, the building design also, and in energy efficient building also, it is very important to take care the other parts of the building, like the management, waste management, IoT is also there, in the various stuffs is also there. So I think sustainable building is that self-sufficient, which uses the local practices, the and the smart sustainable building is directly or indirectly called as energy efficient building, because it talks about the design consideration as well of the lower down the energy consumption. That is a smart building which does not require any energy consumption. So I think definition is need to be come up, because these are new things are coming up within 2 or 3 years. New things are coming up from the government side also. The government is saying that your home can also become a smart sustainable. They are launching the building passport. When you type on Google also, might be you heard about the building passport is coming by Bureau of Energy Efficiency. You can just Google also, Bureau of Energy Efficiency is launching a building passport. Like we are having the 5 star, 3 star for our ACs, they are also giving now the rating for our homes, for our houses. That is, so it will be coming within 2 years. I was the part of the training last year. So it is in the pilot stage, it is coming up, and they also say that it is a smart sustainable building, because it because when we are making a house, it also says the same, and the parameters is set it by Bureau of Energy Efficiency, because it is very important. Yes, sustainability has waste also, so it is called for that also. So as per me, this is the definition.
Thank you, Kapil
Okay,
ji.
thank you.
Yes,
So there are two more common terms which are in common. First one is net positive building, and second one is net zero building.
net zero building. Yes,
So can you throw some light on that?
net zero building is the building which does not use the energy from the outside sources. Okay, so might be you heard about the what we say. There's a building recently. It was India's first platinum IGBC certified building, that is Godrej GBC Center at Hyderabad. One second. So there is less battery in my. laptop. So sorry. So we come on the part. So it was designed net zero building. Net zero building does not require much electricity from the outside sources. The design considerations are there that the insulation glasses were used properly. So it is also energy efficient building because it does not require the outside sources. It has solar powered solar cells are powering the building. So it is called a net zero building. The natural ventilation is much used in that. Net positive building is mostly which uses some part of the electricity from the other sources, but the net zero building is called as which does not require the power consumption from the outside sources, as per me. So if you want to check on it, the first platinum certified building in India is GBC Center, Godrej Business Center in Hyderabad, and some other state building. And the country net carbon country is Bhutan in the world.
Okay.
So they uses the same principle. The natural ventilation is used. The building uses the insulation in the properties. So they also manage all the stuff in that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now over to Manish Bhaskar sir or Pradeep Padmanwar sir.
Yes, sir. Then, okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to call our dean as well as the head of the department, Professor T.V. Arjunan sir, to give a vote of thanks to our honorable speaker, Mr. Kapil Meghrani.
Left, sir. I will.
Sunny? Sir is there?
Sir is there.
Arjunan sir?
Ah,
Yes, sir.
yeah, very good afternoon to one and all. So, really, I thank Mr. Kapil Meghrani. So, he spent time with us with a great topic, which is essential today. Smart, sustainable building and a new material technology. So he almost covered many things. He started with resources of the material and the material efficiency, then how we can use the material efficiently, so we can select other materials is a better option. And further he covered what is the green building conversions, how to set up blazons. So he covered many things, even including active solar systems and conservation of water. So many things which are what the practically how they're implementing. So many things he covered. Really, the session was good, and some of the members asked the questions really very nice, like Vinod Kumar sir, and some of the questions are very nice.
I think there is some network issue. So I request sir if he can off his video, then it will work fine.
Right now, sir is not available.
Okay, okay.
All right, totally fine. It was a nice session interacting with all the stuff. So anyone has question, do let me know. And so I think Arji, you can also share the questions by
Yes,
participants.
yes,
Or
yes.
any stuff is there. I would happy to answer.
I think there is no more questions. This is time for the winding of the session. On behalf of ISHRE Agra Sub-Chapter and Guru Ghasidas Viswavidyalaya, Bilaspur. I express my hearty thanks to Kapil Meghrani ji, who shared his knowledge with us. I also express my gratitude towards the HODME, Dean of the GGU. I express my sincere thanks to Mr. Pradeep Patanwar, Mr. Manish Bhaskar, who made efforts to make it a success. I express my sincere thanks to Mr. Anil Goyal, who is with us, uh, who is Program Chair of Agra Sub-Chapter, Mr. Ajit Fauzdar, President Agra Sub-Chapter of ISHRE, and last but not the least, all the participants who attended this session and made this a great success. Thank you. We had shared uh, feedback link with in the chat box. You can open and share your feedback, and after the successful submission of the feedback, you will get a certificate of participation. So this is time for signing off. Thank you all. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.